What's going on, guys? Welcome back. It is very cold this morning. It was 32 degrees when I left my house. There's probably a 1 to 2 mile an hour wind with all this fog, which makes it even colder. I am going to be fishing for about 2.5 hours. I don't have a lot of time to fish this morning, so I'm going to be fishing through here pretty fast. I have no idea how it's going to be where it's so cold. This cold front and the water is, and the water temp is down substantially from what it was last time I fished this place. I bet it's down at least 5 degrees, possibly 10. When I stood in it this morning, it was actually cold. So I have no idea how the fish are going to be biting, but we're going to search around, see if we can find where they're hiding, and hopefully pick up a few fish. There's a fish. Very lazy hit. Oh, it's a pickerel. Perfect. Not exactly what I'm looking for. Yeah, my line got wrapped. See if that fish is still on. Yep. Oh, no. He was on, but popped off. I think that was a little bass. I didn't get a good look at it. That looked like it was a little bass. So I just threw the big fluke around for about 10 minutes and threw the spinnerbait before that for about 10, and the only intention I had was on the spinnerbait. I caught that pickerel and I think I had that small bass once my line got tangled. So I'm going to head back to the spinnerbait for a few. I just tried it in shallow. Didn't really get any attention shallow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head out a little deeper, see if there's any more tension out deep. Oh, it's a pickerel. There's so many pickerel in here. That is just a baby. Love the enthusiasm, little guy. All right, folks, I'm going to save you from the boringness of my morning so far. Just a quick summary. I fished for an hour and 30 minutes right on the button, and I've only picked up 2 small pickerel. Potentially could have lost a bass. Popped a fish out of the water, but I weren't able to confirm if it was a bass or pickerel. Plan for the morning is I'm going to head to a different lake. I'm going to meet up with my parents and my brother, and we're going to go do some paddling around, maybe some fishing. I've tried everything this morning, from spinnerbait in all colors to flukes in all colors to a whopper plopper. Using a whopper plopper like a topwater. I've tried setting a big fluke right on bottom for 10-15 seconds. I've tried deep crankbaiting, which is probably my least favorite way of fishing, and the bass have just shut right off with this cold front. These bass are nowhere to be found, so we're going to head to that other lake right now. All right, folks, spot number 2, and it's actually pretty windy out. Gonna fish this cove section here. We haven't fished here in a little over a month. I think the 4th of July was the last time we fished this place, so we're going to see if we can get a little bit of redemption from this morning and get on some fish. That's not good. First cast. Oh, there's a fish. Second cast. And we have a little bass. I'll take it. After this morning, I will take that little guy all day long. Just a little guy. I will take him though. Hopefully that's a good sign. Didn't bring an anchor today, so I'm just relying on my anchor pole, which isn't ideal for really windy days like this. Oh, another little fish. Another little bass. Just little guys so far. This is the second one in about 10 casts. Still pretty cold out. If I had to guess, I would say it's probably 55, maybe 60, but we got some pretty good wind blowing, which makes it feel a little colder. What I'm doing is I'm hitting the open section of these weeds first, and I'm going to go in and actually hit this thick stuff. See if there's anything hiding in there. Just had a miss over there. Pickerel. All right, enough. Perfect. Popped off on his own. It's the best way to release a pickerel right there, is when they flop off on their own. There's a fish. That feels like a nice one. I gotta play this fish. Kind of difficult. I had to let him swing on these weeds. I'm gonna try to bring him through this channel right here. We have a nice bass. Oh, it's a pickerel. No. A pickerel was dragging weeds. That's why he felt so big. I thought that was a nice one. Nice sized pickerel. I thought that was a nice bass, just the way he hit it. And I was carrying some weeds with him. That's why he felt so big. Not what I'm looking for. I don't know where all the big bass are today. That cold front, I think, has got him messed up. This fish. Oh, it's another pickerel. I cannot believe the amount of pickerel. The pickerel are out of control today. This is the last cast in this stuff. I have thrown everything in here, from a big fluke to a small fluke, a hollow body frog, and there's just nothing in this thick stuff. Here we go, bass of the day. Look at that little guy. Love the attitude. Love the attitude, little guy. That is a small bass. That is probably one of the smallest bass I've ever caught off a spinnerbait. That could have been a fish. This is a fish. Oh, he came off. That was a nice bass. That was off that Rapala shallow running crankbait. I saw that. That was a nice bass. That was at least a 3-pound fish. Oh my God, that was the second bass in like 3 casts I've missed. That was another nice one. This wind is making it very difficult to fish. There's a fish. Please be a bass. That was off the crankbait. There. A little bigger than the last couple, but still just absolutely no size to these bass. That was off that Rapala shallow diving crankbait. It's very windy. It's hard to fish with anything but an actual moving bait. Oh, big smallmouth. Big smallmouth was following. Oh, fish. Oh my God, they're just short hitting it. That was 2 nice bass I lost right by the boat in like 2 casts. So the last 3 or 4 fish that I've missed have all been off a cabbage weed in the 3 to 4 foot range. Submerged weed beds that I think these fish are holding up in. There wasn't anything of any size around the lily pads. And 3 out of the last 4 I missed were actually confirmed bass. I actually got a good enough look at them. But they're just not aggressive today. They're not really fully committing to it. You know, they're doing a lot of short strikes, and you know, they're just not hitting it hard like they normally do. I'd like to get 1 big bass for the day. I'd be happy with 1. Oh, another short hit. Unbelievable. I swear these fish are just coming up behind it and just nose punching it. Oh, another short hit. Unbelievable. Same pattern, deep weed bed. Just a little punch. There's a fish. That one hit it. That one hit it pretty hard. I think this is the first nice bass of the day. Oh, that's a big bass. That's stay pinned. That's a big bass. Finally connected with a nice fish. And I don't think he's hooked very good. There we go. Nice. Just, this fish was barely hooked. He just had this hook riding in that ridge there. I don't think he was actually even into the barb. Nice fish. I've been grinding all day. This is the second lake I fished. That first one was pretty much pickerel. I've been fishing for an hour and 6 minutes and I caught that guy. I found a pretty reliable pattern this morning, but the fish have just been short hitting it all day, all morning. All the fish I've been catching have been off of the submerged weed beds in about 5 to 6 feet of water, and it's like the fish are just coming up behind it and just punching the lure. Except that one actually hit it pretty hard. I'm gonna fish this. Oh, there's another one. That's a pickerel. Is that another pickerel? That is another pickerel. I cannot believe the amount of pickerel I've caught today. All right, enough. I was going to show you that one, but But he popped off. That was a nice pickerel. That was like a 20-inch pickerel. Just a little guy. Same pattern. Deep weed bed.
What if we tip?
We won't, look.
Solid as a rock, Rye. All right, so I just met up with my parents and brother. Riley's cruising. Ow. How's it going? All right, that's Riley, my brother, paddling the kayak over there. Mother's over there, father's behind me. Still kind of paddling around, half fishing, half paddling. Nice job, Rye. But I'm not gonna fish it real heavily. I'm just gonna kind of fish as I go, and if I pick up a fish, that'll just be an extra bonus. There's a fish. Oh, nice bass. Oh, that's a big smallmouth. Big smallmouth. Oh, this is a monster smallmouth. He's not hooked very good. Oh, this is a monster smallmouth. This is a nice smallmouth. He's not hooked very good either. Off the spinnerbait. Man, these are such a strong fish. There we go. Nice smallmouth. That's a stud of a smallmouth right there. Amazing how hard these fish fight. That thing hit that like a freight train. That's one of the better smallmouths I've caught all year. Got that fish off of this natural colored spinnerbait in about 4 feet of water with a rocky, pebbly bottom. Yeah, I just caught a nice one. I just caught a nice one. There's another fish. Pretty much the same strategy, but this one was off a deep weed bed versus a pebbly bottom like that smallmouth. This is just a little guy. Just a little guy. So that pattern is still holding true from this morning. These fish are kind of off the shorelines. You know, they're off the shoreline vegetation, and they're more in the, kind of more in the submerged weed beds. I can barely keep up with Rye. She's going like 100 miles an hour. You want to try my paddle? Yeah, give it a shot. Yeah, give it a shot. All right, folks, we're going to call it good there. Not a bad second half of the day. Once I changed the lakes and figured out a good pattern, picked up some decent fish. The fish were really gun shy this morning. They were short hitting like crazy, but there wasn't anything in shallow. They were all out deep in the deeper weed beds. But not a bad day overall for as cold as it was, and we have a big storm coming in tomorrow, so I don't know if the fish are picking up on that. But I'm gonna head back, spend some time with my family, and we'll see you guys on the next one.